About 2 years ago, when I was working at Stony River, I worked at a steakhouse for about 5 years to kind of support myself, trying to get a deal in town, and I was absolutely heartbroken over this guy I had dated, and a friend of mine proceeds to tell me that my ex-boyfriend's birthday represents the Jack of Hearts and the deck of cards. And I was like, I don't understand this at all. And so I went home, looked up on the internet, found that each of our birthdays represent a card. I'm the Six of Diamonds, and my ex-boyfriend was the Jack of Hearts. And read this whole little saying about, you got to be careful of the Jack of Hearts. He's very charming and just crafty. And I was like, this sounds like the guy. And I had the title for a long time. And I remember a couple people passed on writing it with me. And I met Mark Beeson, and I said, what do you think about Jack of Hearts? And he was so into the idea, and he helped bring it to life.
And so we set up some time to write, and she had this idea. We talked for a while, and she had this idea called Jack of Hearts, and we talked for a long time, and kind of came up with the little twist at the end of the chorus, and knew we were onto something. And we got the chorus, and then some of the first verse, and we kind of hit a wall. And it just so happened I was writing the next day with young Mr. Frimmer here, and I told her, I said, I think maybe we should take this to the good doctor, the Dr. Frimmer, and see if he can knock out that second verse and get us on the right path, and we did. And I mean, I think we were done in an hour.
First of all, what was it like working with Mark? I mean, what were your...
I love Mark. It was funny because that's the first song we've ever written together.
Uh-huh.
So for us to just sit in a room and come up with that is pretty amazing. I felt really comfortable with him right away. How
long did it take you guys to write it?
This was a 3-day thing, because the first day we had the idea, we wrote the first verse and the chorus, and we could not get that second verse. We just couldn't go there, and I don't know, it was such a great start that we didn't want to ruin it, and so we brought in Don Frimmer, who's absolutely one of the most amazing lyricists in town. I think he's just brilliant, and we sat down and we played it for him, and all of a sudden he puts on his headphones and he's like, all right, be quiet.
Next day.
Yeah, it didn't take long. Well, one of the things I like about...
Because you got it right away where we were going.
About Sarah is she doesn't always know what it is that she wants to say, but she damn sure knows what it isn't. If you say something she doesn't like, she doesn't just sit there and, let you get away with it. She will tell you flat out, that's not working. and that's unusual in itself for a young writer. They just are more apt to sit there and let you
not say anything.
And not say anything. They kind of let you dictate, and then they may go off later on when they get back to the publisher or the producer or whatever and say, oh,
"Don't ever put me with those guys."
Never doing that again.
Yeah. Any funny anecdotes about working with either one of those guys, or was it pretty straight ahead?
Yes. The whole time you write with Don and Mark, they're making fun of each other. Don is making fun of Mark, saying, I don't even know why I write with this guy, really. And Don wears these funny t-shirts that say silly stuff on them. He had this t-shirt on one time that says, if you see this, pick me up and put me back on my stool or something. And it had an arrow pointing down. I don't know. He's a funny guy. But they make fun of each other the whole time we write. So.
Tell me a little bit about your first run out at radio, playing the song, and some of your feelings about the response, and anything that sticks out from your first radio tour.
I think one of the best things that sticks out to me on this first radio tour, because it's my first run at this, I didn't know how people were going to react to the song, and my whole record, it's like my life, and I'm very close to all my songs, and so putting yourself out there is very interesting. especially when it's your own work. And everybody really embraced it, and I think that was the neatest thing for me, is just the way everybody embraced the stories. And they were, I would tell them the story of behind each song, and they sat there and just loved, that was like the part that they loved the most. So it was really neat. Well, we're doing a video for every song it's on the record. We have 13 tracks, but we just shot Jack of Hearts a few weeks ago out in Las Vegas. And incredible video. Ryan Smith did a great job at shooting the video, and now we're going to do a video for the other songs, and we're getting colleges from all over the United States to help us out on making those videos with their film departments, and I think it's so cool because we're getting young people involved in the project, and I love it because you make people feel a part of what you're doing instead of, you know, just watching it, and you're giving them a chance, especially in college. I would have loved to have an opportunity to, you know, have a chance to work on a video, and this is really neat because it's going to be streaming live. You know, we're going to put it out there. All of you at radio, I want to thank you so much for just taking the time to let me come by the studio and just letting me share my stories. I've felt so warm. You guys have just really embraced me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank all of my fans because my fans are so supportive, and they're always going up to bat for me, and I just want to say thank you for all the love and support you've given me and the encouragement. I get so many emails and MySpace messages with these great stories about how my songs have moved you, and I want you to know that that means nothing but the best for me. Like you have no idea what that does for me. So.
Yeah, check me out.